Have you ever felt like your work and personal life are a constant balancing act? It can feel impossible to keep everything steady without falling off track. But what if finding balance isn't about standing perfectly still? What if it's more like riding a wave, making minor adjustments to stay afloat rather than trying to stick a perfect landing? In this week's podcast, you'll discover that proper balance requires flexibility, not rigidity. And we'll even try out a simple exercise to help you make subtle, powerful adjustments in both your personal and professional life. Hey everyone, I'm Laverne McKinnon and welcome to the Moonshot Mentor podcast. I'm a certified career coach and a grief recovery specialist. I love to help ambitious, driven people feel confident, empowered, and excited after experiencing a career setback. Whether it's from feeling stuck in a tough period or frustration from slow progress, I offer up tools and resources to help you meet your full potential. Let's jump in. Work-life balance is not about sticking the landing, it's about riding the wave. So many of my clients hold a mistaken belief that balance requires figuring it all out and then adhering very, very strictly to boundaries. There's a rigidity to that approach, which actually makes balance even more challenging. Work-life balance actually requires a constant series of subtle adjustments in order to achieve equilibrium. So consider the difference between a gymnast and a surfer. A gymnast sticks the landing by not moving their feet even a centimeter when they land. A micro movement can result in a deduction of points. Sticking the landing is a powerful way to say, look at me, I'm done, ta-da! A surfer, on the other hand, is in the midst of a journey. Surfers are successful when they make adjustments in their feet to calibrate the shifting energy, direction, and power of the wave. It's about attunement rather than firmness. If a surfer is stiff and immovable, they will fall off their board. Let's try a simple exercise to illustrate how balance, both physical and in life, requires movement and ongoing adjustments. So here's a balance exercise. I'm going to invite you to stand on one foot. As you pay attention to how your foot and body make adjustments to stay balanced, you'll start to see the parallels with how you can remain steady in your personal and professional life. It's about being aware and responsive to what's happening in the moment, rather than saying, I'm done, because balance is about process, it's not about being complete. Okay, so here are the steps. The first, stand in a stable spot where you can maybe reach out easily if you start to wobble a little bit, maybe next to a wall or a sturdy piece of furniture. Now, second, if you're comfortable standing on one foot, go ahead and give it a try. If you feel unsteady, use your hand for extra balance. Now, this third step, as you balance, focus on the sensations in your planted foot. Notice how it makes very small adjustments to keep you stable. If you feel off balance, it's okay to put your foot down and reset before you try again. Now, I'd love for you to experiment a little bit by trying not to move your foot at all. What happens? You'll most likely feel wobbly and lose your balance. So when you let your foot move naturally and adjust as needed, you're more likely to stay balanced. But it's not just about adjusting your foot. In both physical balance and work-life balance, your body and your mind are coordinating multiple systems to help you keep steady. Let's explore how these systems work together and how they can guide you in achieving a balance between personal and professional responsibilities. So, the first system is your eyes, and you use your eyes to scan the environment. When balancing physically, your eyes are constantly scanning your surroundings. They're helping you anticipate what's coming. Sort of like when a skateboarder is looking ahead for obstacles, if there's a crack in the pavement, a stray piece of trash, or even a pedestrian. Similarly, in work-life balance, your eyes represent your ability to foresee upcoming events, such as project deadlines, family commitments, or potential conflicts. Keeping your eyes open allows you to prepare and make adjustments before things get out of control. Next up is the inner ear. Your inner ear is an incredible system that tells your brain where your head and your body are in relation to its surroundings. It works very quietly behind the scenes with your eyes to help you stay balanced Now, in work-life balance, that metaphor, the inner ear is your intuition. It's that gut feeling that tells you when something is off, even if you can't fully see it. Just as your inner ear keeps you from tipping over, trusting your intuition is going to help you sense when your work or your personal life is out of alignment before it gets wildly out of control. So that's when you use the sensory nerves. Sensory nerves collect critical information about how your body is responding to gravity, pressure on your feet, the tilt of your ankles, and the movement of your neck. They act as your body's early warning system, alerting your brain to make adjustments. In work-life balance, this is sort of like the data that you are gathering on a daily basis. Your schedule, deadlines, how much time you've spent with loved ones, and your overall energy. Just like sensory nerves help you stay upright, staying tuned into these signals helps you know when to recalibrate your work and personal commitments so you don't fall out of balance. Now, making the adjustments requires your muscles, bones, and joints to send feedback to your brain about your posture and limb position and movement. They act as the physical tools that adjust to maintain balance. Now, in our work-life balance, this could represent the practical systems you put in place to stay steady, like identifying action items, calendaring things you need to do, delegating tasks, or taking breaks when needed. These structures are what keep you grounded when things get hectic. Now, the brain is command central. It interprets all the data from your body's systems. It coordinates them all and decides how to adjust your body to keep you balanced. In work-life balance, the brain represents your ability to prioritize. It's what guides you towards your North Star, your core values, and what's most important to you. When conflicts inevitably arise, your brain helps you problem solve, whether that means enlisting extra help, rescheduling tasks, or saying no to something. It's what ensures you're always moving in the right direction. In both physical and work-life balance, success comes from having systems in place that communicate with one another. It's not about staying perfectly still, but about constantly making small adjustments to stay on track. So, why does work-life balance fall apart? It's when we become rigid in our approach, just as a body trying to balance can topple when it resists movement. In both cases, flexibility is key. If you insist on sticking to a plan without adapting to unexpected changes, whether it's a last-minute meeting or a family emergency, you're more than likely to lose balance. Like the foot that needs to constantly adjust to uneven ground, staying supple and responsive to what's happening around you helps you remain steady amidst life's unpredictability. Another reason balance breaks down is when we stop communicating with the different systems that keep us aligned. Just as the body relies on the coordination between the eyes, the inner ear, and sensory nerves to stay upright, maintaining work-life balance requires paying attention to multiple signals. Ignoring your intuition, failing to anticipate upcoming challenges, or not gathering feedback from your schedule and energy levels can lead to a disconnect. Without this constant flow of information, it's easy to miss when things are starting to shift off course. Lastly, when work or life demands start to outweigh your ability to manage them, it's often a sign that the brain of your system isn't receiving or processing the right data. Maybe you're not reassessing your priorities, or you're trying to force a one-size-fits-all solution onto a dynamic situation. Just as your brain would fail to keep you balanced if it ignored input from your body, your work-life balance suffers when you don't take time to reassess and make necessary adjustments. The key to staying attuned to all these systems is in allowing them to guide your choices. Bottom line, work-life balance, like physical balance, is a dynamic process that requires flexibility and attentiveness. It's not about standing firm in one place or holding on to rigid boundaries, but rather about making continuous, subtle adjustments to stay aligned. When we remain open to these ongoing shifts, we can ride the waves of life's changing demands with greater ease and control. The key is recognizing that balance isn't a one-time achievement. It's constant recalibration. By staying connected to the different systems that help us navigate our responsibilities, whether it's tuning into our intuition or keeping an eye on our schedule or reassessing priorities, when conflicts arise, we create a more fluid approach to balance. This attunement allows us to adapt without losing our footing. Ultimately, proper balance comes from being responsive rather than rigid. It's about learning to flow with life's complexities, much like a surfer rides a wave. When we embrace that balance, we become better equipped to navigate both the demands of our work and our personal lives. Okay, that's it for this week. So what's coming up next week is this question about deadlines. Can aggressive deadlines fuel creativity? One of my clients thinks so, and she's convinced me to see the power in them. So I'm going to take a different approach to deadlines and how aggressive ones can unlock new levels of growth. It's all about reframing your relationship with failure. Now, before you go, hold on a moment and just give my blogcast just a quick rating and review. It would be so immensely helpful to me in supporting my work. And remember to head over to Moonshot Mentor Substack for journal prompts to help you ride the balance wave. And if you want to work with me, check out my website, moonshotmentor.com, for more information and links. And as always, a very big thank you to Lynn Chen for the video and audio editing. You can find her on social at Ms. Lynn Chen. Thank you so much for tuning in. I look forward to seeing you next week.